Are you tired of flickering fluorescent light bulbs? Maybe they don't turn on at all. Or maybe you have to tap on the light a bunch of times to get them to work. Well, no more, because today we are getting rid of our fluorescent light bulbs. We are getting rid of the troublesome ballasts that are in there, and we are replacing them with high efficiency LED lights. Stay tuned, I'll show you how to do it. Welcome back to Vital Point, everybody. I am your host, Andrew Penzie, and usually I'm an outdoor guy, but today we are bringing it indoors because I am working my way around the house replacing all these fluorescent lights with LED bulbs and fixtures. It's actually a pretty simple process once you know just a couple basics. So first things first, let's shut that power. Best thing to do is figure out which circuit your lights are on and shut it down at the breaker. Another option may be to just shut down the power at the switch. But you gotta be careful because sometimes the power is routed through the fixture before it hits the switch. So even if you shut the switch down, the fixture may be live, so you gotta double check that. If you do shut it down at the switch, make sure you put a piece of tape over it to make sure no one messes around and flips it on while you're in the middle working. Now we're gonna just open up the light here. There's a couple brackets you just pull down here. We're doing this with only one thumb. I cut my thumb pretty good the other day. Gotta let it recover. So this just slides right down like so. And you could just lift this out like so to get it out of the way. You can remove the bulbs by just turning them. And then they should slide down. And you just go at a little angle to get them out. Now I have to remove this metal cover to get at the ballast, which is underneath there. Sometimes there's a screw holding these in place. These ones look like they just squeeze to pop them out. There's little clips you gotta squeeze it past. And then same thing, just come down at an angle. Give that a pull, and there we go. You want to make sure that the power's off before working on any of these lights. So these little voltage testers come in really handy, work well, but always test them to make sure that the voltage tester is working on something you know is live first. So I have this extension cord, and if we put that, say that's showing we have a live circuit. So now I could test it up against these other wires. I know that the voltage tester is good, and we are good to go up here. The way most of these fluorescent fixtures are wired is they have your hot wires coming in here. They are connected to the next wire feeding the next light down the circuit, and then they power the ballast directly here. From the ballast you have wires extending to both tombstones on each side. These going that way, the yellow ones going that way to those tombstones which hold the lights. Now the LED lights are wired a little differently. They only have direct power to one tombstone on one side. The other side is just a dummy. It just holds the light in place, but there's no actual wiring to this side. So it's much easier to connect. It doesn't even matter which side you put which on, as long as the wires feed one side and you have the light holder on the other. Now the ones I got came in this handy little pack of two. You got the two LED lights. You have two non-shunted tombstones with the wires that are directly connected there. And you don't really have to worry about shunted, non-shunted. Just replace the tombstones that you have with the ones they give you in the box here, and you'll be good to go. And the ones on the other side are just the ones that hold the lights with no wiring. Let's unscrew our wire connections. And then we're going to remove the ballast, so just clip the wires for those. And we're putting new wires in, so it doesn't really matter where you clip them. Then remove the one screw that holds the ballast in place. Like that. Take this puppy out. Goodbye, ballast. Each light fixture has a different type of clip system, but they're all pretty similar. And usually a screwdriver is a good form of encouragement to get these out. Just give it a little pull here and there, and you'll see it'll start to go. And these pop right out like so. So while we got this popped out, let's just go ahead and swap these out real quick. This side we'll put the ones without the wires just to make it easy. They just slide right off like so. Just get them out of there. You'll see there's little grooves on these guys. They just slide right into place like so. Very simple. And then let's just pop this guy right back in. That's it. On the other side, we'll put the tombstones that have the wires attached to them. So So again, we just slide them right into place like so. And then you're just going to bend this wire so it follows the track here and comes out the little groove. That way you don't pinch any wires. So this is what it looks like, all ready to go. We're just going to slide it back into place. Fortunately for us, these wires look like they're just long enough to be able to make this connection. Otherwise, you might have to get an extra piece of wire and connect it at both ends. Now, I'm a huge fan of these push-in connectors instead of the wire caps. They are the best thing since the invention of ice cream, and I highly recommend them. So the connection we have here holds up to 4 wires, which is perfect for what we need. And the main thing with these that I found is you cannot have a bent wire end. You got to make sure your wires are nice and straight, and then that way they'll snap in real solid. And you just push it in there, you'll feel it snap. Sometimes you got to give it a little muscle power, and there we go. And that forms the connection. I'm going to start with the white wires. Make sure it's all the way in there. There's number 2. Again, pretty tricky to do this with only one thumb. But there we go. Good. And that's it. That's done. Now we'll connect all the black wires on another one. I like getting the thick wires in first because they're the most difficult. There we go. Keep them in the middle. All right, the hard part's just about done. Let's get our cover back in. It just snaps in. There we go. With fluorescent bulbs, it doesn't matter which end goes where. But with the LEDs, I found that it does. So on these lights, they have some writing on one side, and that's the side that goes towards the power. So if it doesn't work one way, just flip it around and try it again, and it'll probably work just fine. I find these are much easier to deal with than the fluorescent, and they have a plastic casing, which just feels more durable. The fluorescents always feel so delicate. I'm always afraid I'm gonna break them. There are little caps on the end, just take them off. Voila! Insert our cover back in here. There we go. A little persuasion. And we are done, folks. That's all there is to it. Let's flip that switch and see what we got. Oh, there it is. Beautiful, folks. Look at that light. Now, this provides just as much light as the fluorescents, except for they will be maintenance-free for many years to come. Guys, I hope I have illuminated your life today. You could do this project. It's pretty straightforward. Just be safe and make sure you turn that electric off. And I wish you guys many years of maintenance-free lighting. Make sure to check out my other videos on Vital Point. Hit that subscribe button. Catch you guys next time. Always aim for that Vital Point.